Hello, everybody. This is the Carlton Brown Foundation behind the scenes
What's the
TV show.
third one?
And the third one will be the Marcus Garvey. It says we will never forget our history, but now it's time for an African Renaissance. That'll be the last photo in the TV show for the FAU Chamber of Commerce.
So is that the one with the FAU
Chamber of Commerce, yes, sir.
emblem on the top?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, and then those other images you sent me,
Okay, the first one, the other ones for the second show.
they're for the other show?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about that.
No, and we're gonna play those back to back. We're gonna continue the conversation, and you're gonna be able to go through them as we're, and I'll be hit that slide, and when I point which one's out, so it can be specific. I think that'll be a really good show too. Will we be able to get those other shows today, Rob, if possible? The ones?
No, because we were closed last week, I haven't had a chance to convert all of them.
Okay.
I had all of the week before to convert, and we weren't in the office at all last week, so.
Okay.
So we're gonna convert. I'm gonna convert all of them for this week. Some of them are in there converting. I just don't want to tell you you're gonna be done by the time
Yes.
you're done. So. I just don't want to tell you a fallacy. So.
Okay. Well, if you send me an email, I can try to maybe get up here and try to get to them, because I want to try to get them up there. It's some really good shows, and I'm starting to really get a lot of viewers up on YouTube. You know, at my YouTube page, I got over 11,000 views. You know, and it's taking off, and so I want to keep that. Like you said, that professional HD videos, you know, will increase participation in viewing, and it's definitely being effective. I mean, it's definitely increasing. You know, all my videos are being watched. You know, this not just a single one. You know, that's a good thing. So now y'all go up to YouTube, got some powerful shows, Fifth Third Bank Agreement, all type of stuff. Gonna be a very good show today. Can't wait to see this show. Uh, is there any way people can go up and get the show without watching cable? Can you go up and get it like off a website or something?
No, that's up to you guys to do.
Okay. I was just asking because you know a lot of people, you know, my show is starting to really get noticed, and a lot of people are asking me how to get, you know, access to the show because people then highly recommended that they take a look at it. So,
Right.
which is a good thing. You know, it's a good market research and development survey. Very positive. So, but hey, I got my guest on here, Mr. Elihu Stanley XI, and we're gonna be about that change today. That's what we're gonna be about. You know, we have two very powerful half-hour
Can you move
shows.
for me?
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
All right. Getting ready for the show. Everybody
Okay,
out
Mr.
there?
Brown, yours is scratching, so I'll come fix that in just a second.
Yes, sir.
Now we're ready.
Okay. Now make sure I got my okay.
Okay, we're gonna be ready in about 30 seconds. So keep going. All right.
Well, y'all, we're about ready to start this show. I'm gonna start this off with a quote from Martin Luther King, and then a Yoruba proverb.
All right, everybody quiet.
Hey, it's the Carlton Brown Foundation show. Hey, I want to come to you today with a quote from Martin Luther King, who stated that we need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. We need leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. Because see, there's a you of a proverb that says, one moment of truth can put out hundreds of years of lies. So we're going to be about that truth today. We're going to be about that economic truth today, you know, and we're going to read about the Fifth Third Bank Agreement and the things that we got going on with that today here. And we're going to be talking about that subject. And it says Washington, D.C., the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, then Key Bank signed a landmark $16.5 billion community benefits agreement. The commitment, signed at the 2016 NCIC Annual Conference, see below picture, Key Corp Chairman, CEO Beth Mooney, and NCIC President John Taylor were joined at the signing by the community leaders from New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Oregon, Maine. The commitment includes mortgage, small businesses, community development, lending and philanthropy, low to moderate income communities. It will be carried out over 5 years beginning in 2017. FAU will use $3 million commitment in the CBA to create a Cleveland and International Trade Center with African dollar used in the hashtag Black Folks Plan. For more info, go to friendsoftheafricanunion.com. You know, I want to read that again, you know, at this last part. Very, very, very powerful economic new frontier type of information. Very powerful. I'm going to read this again. Check this out. FAU, Friends of the African Union, is what that means, will use $3 million commitment in the community benefit agreement to create in Cleveland the International Trade Center with the African dollar used in the hashtag Black Folk Plan. For more info, go up to friendsoftheafricanunion.com and find out what the African dollar is. Go up to Carlton Brown Foundation Action and Solution page or FAU CBF on Facebook, and you'll be able to read what the African dollar is. It's in the 5 tasks of ECOSOC and the creation and formation of the Commonwealth of the African Diaspora, which is the 6th region. And this benefits into these areas. We're going to talk about the Key Bank summary. You know, what areas will you be allowed to invest in? You know, we're gonna talk about that, these specific areas. Then my guest, Mr. Ella Haru Stanley X. me and him will have a conversation about that. The summary of the Community Benefits Agreement with National Community Reinvestment Coalition and Key Bank, which is NCIC, is mortgage lending to low to moderate income communities, $5 billion. It is a Key Bank will increase mortgage lending to low to moderate communities by $2.5 billion or 100% over the current rate in both institutions. Each market, including each first Nigeria markets, should expect up to average of 20% compound growth rate over the next 5 years. You know, this is for those specific states that I talked about. These are the states that the Key Bank initiative for $16.5 billion affects. We also have one with Huntington Bank shares, an agreement for $16.1 billion, and then we have also the latest community benefit agreement with Fifth Third Bank for $30 billion, which includes these areas that I'm speaking on, and they donate money to the same areas. Small business lending, $2.5 billion. Transforming, $1 billion holds 20,000 people for 2 decades. You know, this is transforming for the black communities, low to moderate income communities, Caucasians living in low to moderate income communities, Hispanics living into low moderate income communities, Asian Americans living in low to moderate income communities, because that's what the FAU is about. This is about economic inclusion. We have community development programs, community development lending and investment. KeyBank will devote $8.8 billion, 5 years to community development, investments, and lending, and increase $4.5 billion over its current rate, or over 100%. You know, $8.8 billion. We got so many homeless people out here. We got, so many mothers struggling just to pay bills. And imagine, the father who's taking care of his child, and trying to be responsible and do what's right. Now you can have a home. Then it's a process. We can get you a good paying job so you can keep that home.
Yes.
We're going to have 7 million people in the next 5 years guaranteed making $39,000 a year around the world. In the 54 countries of the African Union and the African diaspora. Also, it affects philanthropy, 175 million. KeyBank gave 93 million, with 193 million for philanthropy groups. I'm in training now on philanthropy, best business practices, Carlton Brown Foundation, along with many other groups in the city. But the KeyBank initiative from KeyBank is they give another 175 million for philanthropy. So that is almost $400,000 for philanthropy work. I believe that's $368,000. And then you have the Huntington Bank shares, which it goes up even more for the states that I stated in the KeyBank agreement. And then Fifth Third 30 billion is 10 states it affects. Marketing and communication. KeyBank will commit $5 million. Marketing and communication. How do we get the word out? How do we stay in the loop? Payday lending. We're going to be opening up 10 new branches with the Fifth Third Bank money. And these branches are, and it says branch distribution and access. Of a total of 2.7 low to moderate income branches within 1 mile of each other, the KeyBank considered closing. 13 were originally slated to be consolidated. Based on the NCIC membership feedback, 4 of those 13 low to moderate branches will not be closed. Additionally, a new branch will be opening in low to moderate census tract in East Buffalo. We're going to be opening up 10 new branches ourselves with the 30 billion Fifth Third Bank agreement, and then product innovation. And then we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to go on and we're going to talk to this with Mr. Elahiru. But it is the product innovation, patents, new product innovation. You have an invention, we ready for that. They are putting forth $3 million to test pilot new products. Very, very good information, especially for our scientific minded part of the community and the black community and low to moderate income communities. KeyBank will develop a national advisory council to monitor and review, planned governance. In my foundation, over the $10 billion implementation, I'm the lead salesperson, I created a task force within my foundation for oversight of all of that, right? That way we have planned governance, rural markets. KeyBank will focus on lending and investing in rural areas. That means in my community, somewhere where it's not being done. These banks are stepping up. We want to thank KeyBank. We want to thank all the people at KeyBank for not being yesterday and doing what's right today. We can't change the past, but we can do what's right today.
That's right.
So this KeyBank will focus in areas, especially in geographics as Alaska, Maine, upstate New York, Ohio, Oregon, and the Rocky Mountains. So if you people out there, y'all hear these messages, y'all need to contact Carlton Brown. Y'all need to contact Elahiru, Stanley XI, FAU, Friends of the African Union, FAU, Chamber of Commerce. Anywhere you see us, you need to get with us so we can get this done together. my brother, would you like to comment on those multiple subjects that I talked about, but the ones that you would like to talk about that piqued your interest?
Oh, well, the multiple subjects is that all this funding is going to be tremendous for our communities in the lower income communities because this is a transformative event. If our people, the people who live in the low income communities, take advantage of the opportunities to develop their businesses, to acquire a home, and to create communities that would be safer for their children and for the future of their whole community.
Yes.
Very transformative information, Carlton.
Uh, what about the housing and then the business development? I mean, for a person who's already got it going on, they listen to it and be like, well, what are they up to? But the person standing out there on the corner that don't even know where their next meal is coming from.
Well, I think we need both people. We need the people who really, if they do have it going on, we need them to be the tip of the spear for those people in our community who already have businesses, who already have, careers that are already solid. They need to be a part of the community as well to provide direction for the people who will also receive funding who don't have the education level yet, so they can become part of the training. I mean, it's one thing to have what you need, but it's another thing to be able to share what you have and to help others get it.
Yes, sir. I agree 1,000,000% because I don't believe in the philosophy that I need to do for myself. I believe in the philosophy that if you gain the people, you gain the whole world. Because, in Africa, the value is the child.
Yes, yes.
The child can grow up to be president to run the whole country.
That's right.
The child can grow up to be a billionaire.
That's right.
Where you're thinking about a few dollars. The child is the wealth. So if the child is the wealth, that means the man and woman standing in front of you is valuable, not invaluable.
That's right.
Not what is flashy and what you got. It is what's inside of that person, their human resource abilities. All they need is training and information, and it's unlimited to the resources and finances they can make.
Yes, it's what you talk about all the time, Carlton, having a new mindset.
Yeah.
Because the human mind has unlimited potential. When children are given the right stimuli and the right examples, who knows what we can do? We can transform because then their minds can work on something concrete versus what's available to them right now.
Well, we're gonna move on this other document. I'm gonna let you read this other document here. You able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna plug that in so you can see that very well. And go on and read that, and then we're gonna have a discussion on that.
So the goal is to erase the digital divide, erasing the health divide in our communities, investing in green power in our communities, investing in green-based solutions to water, air, and sewer infrastructure, and remove lead in our regions. Also, investing in the developing housing that employs first-time employees, at those who are re-entering the society from incarceration, and supporting and developing 2 million businesses on the mitigating credit gap and creating ideal jobs and workforce for affordable businesses, aforementioned businesses.
Yes, I think that is very powerful. I mean, would you like to touch on that? A couple of the subjects in there. I mean, I was just wow.
The digital divide is one of the things that is certainly keeping us in the wrong place, which is not being connected to economics.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, the low income communities, the people who live in the urban communities, uh, are divided and they can't get jobs. And for example, in most cases, to just get a job, you have to go online to get a job.
Mhm.
You just can't, like it used to be in the old days.
Just
You
go get
could
an application. Yeah.
go knock on the door, put on application. So if you're low income, you may not have, access, except at the library, access to, computers, access to the internet, and so forth and so on. So this is part of that. We want to create an opportunity to for people to have access to that. Not only to have access to it, but to have knowledge of it. Knowledge how to uh, be a part of the technology that's the growth. This is the growth industry. Everything is electronic now. So unless we actually, this is the new economy. So unless we learn and become adept in the use of the economy and to learn how to actually push our information, push that technology, then we'll always be behind the eight ball because everybody else is going that way and we're going to be left behind.
That's right.
Erasing the health divide, I think you mentioned, people who live in Avondale live, what, 20 years?
Yeah, people who live in Avondale and people who live right down the road in Hyde Park live 16 and a half years longer.
Yeah.
And if you live in Avondale, you live in Westchester, you live 20 years longer. So that health gap.
Right. So there's a definite health gap. So,
health gap's not the word, but
yeah,
but we'll use that one.
yeah. So that, I mean, this is some of the things that are very important to our community. I mean, unless I mean, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're sick,
it doesn't do you any good.
It doesn't do you any good.
That's I agree.
You can have all the dreams, but if you can't get up, dreams will go everywhere. But if you can't get up out of your chair because of pain, then you're not gonna go everywhere. So all these things are important. The green power. I mean, this is where we all have to go. I mean, we know that.
We have to.
We have to go.
I mean, we're killing the whole planet.
Yeah, killing the whole planet with nuclear, with oil pollution, polluting the water. We have to go there. So all these things are very important. We can go on all the list, go down the list.
Everything is so powerful.
Everything is, yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
go down this list with you. I agree on that, man, because, water,
Right.
the body is made up. Each person individually is made up of 90% water, and then 80% of that 90% is your brain.
That's right.
See?
Yes.
And that water also has memory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same water that's in the stream, and it's the same water that's in the ocean, and we all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you killing that, you killing us.
That's right.
So we need that new type of mindset, not only for best practices in business, but also best practices in the environment.
That's right.
Best practices in agriculture.
Yes.
Best practices in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be the change that the future needs instead of talking about what we think the future ought to have. I want to go on investing and developing and that employs first-time employees of those re-entering society. Well, you can go up to YouTube. You can get a detailed explanation to this and what it means, on the Carlton Brown YouTube page, where the chairman talks about the program where we entered into a public-private partnership with the state of Ohio. Mm-hmm. You say that it costs you $35,000 for each prisoner a year. I tell you what, we'll enter into a public-private partnership. We'll do it for 30. And then what we'll do, we'll turn it into a job placement, job readiness. Mm-hmm. If your skills are best suited that you need to run a business coming out the door, we will implement that process too, right? Then if your skills are best suited for a broker, we will facilitate that deal. See, we are with these $30 billion Fifth Third agreement, bank agreements, and the $6 billion, $4 billion sewer project. which will keep our people in the low to moderate income communities and the African American communities working for the next 2 decades, right? That's what this is all about. It's all about, okay, we see a problem today. Well, let's create the type of future that we want to see tomorrow.
Absolutely.
With plans of action.
And we know that incarceration is not a solution.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you get people and putting people in jail, they're uneducated. That's why they're in jail.
Right.
And then when they get in jail, they have no resources to be educated.
Right. And then there's no opportunities when they come out. Because you're ready to change your life. You're already motivated, but you don't have the ability. Then we want to talk about supporting 2 million businesses. People say, well, what's your contract about? Well, you seeing that there's a few people in Ohio. Well, we're international. You don't have that mindset yet. So you're not going to have that same vision we got. Not you, but you know, people that we talk to. Yes. And then we're gonna talk about creating jobs and workforce for aforementioned businesses. So we're creating jobs in all those fields, erasing the digital divide, healthcare, green technology. You know, you're going to get an opportunity at one of the 20,000 homes to a smart green technology home with a computer. We're going to erase this digital divide. We're going to move on to this next document. This is the document here. You're going to switch on to that. This is the document of Friends of the African Union. It says our history should never be forgotten, but it is time for an African Renaissance. Join us in the African Sixth Region in organizing our civil society and congresses and plans of action. You know, I want to let you go through and look at that. You know, we have about 6 minutes left here or so, and we want to let you expound on that a little bit. Tell us what you think, and then I'm going to close out with that and close the show out, and we'll move on to the next show.
Yes. Well, it is time for an African Renaissance. And what a Renaissance is, it means, you know, a rebirth. You know, we have not only in America, but in all of Africa, where, you know, there has been the effects of colonialism and neo-colonialism to the degree that the people, the masses of the people, don't have a sense of their own past, the sense of their own history, you know, the sense of their own future. So that Renaissance needs to happen, you know. So it's going to begin, first of all, with the new mindset, as you talk about all the time.
Yes. And you know, I'm about that new mindset today. You know, I'm not living in yesterday. I'm living in tomorrow. You know, I'm in the present, and I'm working with the tools of the future tools that we have to work with. And I'm about making sure that the foundation and infrastructure is set up in the human resource management skills of the people in order for this plan of action of Fifth Third Bank, Key Bank, and Huntington Bank shares to be able to manifest in our communities. These people want to sit around and talk about what the banks didn't used to do. We are signed an agreement. What is wrong with you people? Ain't nobody hoping and praying for nothing. We done signed it. Now what y'all gonna do? Let's each one teach one.
Each one teach one.
We got to teach the children. We got to teach our next door neighbors.
Yes.
We got to teach the adults. We got to get busy. Sitting around making a whole bunch of excuses where you think you done found something wrong. You ain't even got a solution to help the community. You don't even got one. But you're going to come into the situation and you got a whole bunch of opinions about what needs to be changed, but you're not willing to do no work to help your brother and your sister. See, in Friends of the African Union, we are trained to not be set up with fairy tales and smoke screens. This is the age of information.
That's right.
You're going to come into a meeting. We're talking about $62.6 billion. You're going to come in and sit down at the table and talk about you don't know nothing. But you've been up over there reading and you don't know nothing. You bear witness to a lie. You don't even deserve an opportunity to sit at the table telling lies. And somebody's offering you a chance not only to change your future, the future of your whole community and your family for generations to come, and you refuse to take it seriously because you think if you act like you know something, you're not going to get an opportunity to have a life because that's the way it's always been. Well, We signed this agreement, and them days are over. And you the one need to wake up, and they are the ones that need to accept it. The sky has changed. You have prayed for change. Now it's here. Now let's get busy and stop whining and complaining, and let's do something about it.
That's right.
That's what I mean, right? You know, you know, we're about that African Renaissance today. You know, we walk amongst the living. We have our own resources. We are in implementation stage. We are not in begging stage. We are not in praying stage. We're not in fairy tale mode. We are in implementation for the revitalizations of our communities and the future lives of our children. If we can't agree on nothing else, we need to agree that they need to eat.
Yes, they do.
Right? They need resources.
Yes, they do.
We need to put in all that religion. What I like about men and women ain't got nothing to do with you putting food on the table. Absolutely ridiculous. 1,000 reasons to say you don't gotta do nothing so you can show up and play like you don't know nothing thinking somebody gonna hold your hand. You're gonna get run out the door. People gonna tell you come back when you're ready. So you might better be ready when you come in. Go up to friendsoftheafricanunion.com. Put that in you. Come to us and sit down and have a real conversation. And don't come in there lying. You seen us on Facebook. You seen us on Facebook, but you ain't read nothing. You're lying. You knew where to come. You bear witness to a lie. You are not going to get no future economic destiny telling lies. Okay? You know, it's time to be African.
That's right.
You know, you ain't got to act like you're something else no more. We are the smartest and most intelligent people on the planet, and then it's time for you to step up and be it.
All right.
And quit hiding it.
Okay.
You know, and I wanna thank my brother Elihu Stanley XI for being here today. Very powerful show. Our history should never be forgotten. But it's time for an African Renaissance. Join us in the African Union 6th region in organizing our civil society, congresses, and plans of action. I will have a future show. Go up to our future shows, 5 Tasks of ECOSOC. Go up to Carter Brown Foundation Action and Solution page. You may see the videos that talks about this African Renaissance, about our congresses and plans of actions. Okay? Go to Cbf. Now, FAU, Cbf on Facebook. You'll be able to see the plans of actions. Right? Implemented. Okay, now I want to close out my show with that same African proverb that I start with, that's Yoruba. And it says, a moment of truth can put out 100 years of lies. Remember, I am you and you are me. And I love you. Okay.
Just be comfortable.
Alright.
You ain't going anywhere for another half an hour.
I know. Yeah, I'm already ready to go into the other one. Okay, we ready, family. Let me go down through here, get it out here for you, Rob. Okay. The first one we wanted to see, educational neglect, right here. The first one we want to go with is with the Egyptian, the other Christian, and the third
We got
Christian.
all 3 of those in, by the way, so they were all there.
Okay, I wanted to start with the one with the map, and then the Jesus, right? And then,
Hold on 1 second for me.
okay.
Then the Jesus, you said?
Yeah, the Mary, Haru, the original Christ, Haru, and his mother, Aset, which is Mary. It means
like
beloved of Osiris. Yeah,
Does
Miriam.
It look like a pharaoh?
Where?
Does it look like a pharaoh?
No, that's the Egyptian lady there with the baby, Jesus. His name is Haru.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Like a statue.
Yeah, and the statue is the original statue that was worshipped all the way back in Egypt and all across the whole world until they came over here in 1492 and destroyed the civilization.
Okay, so you said you wanted the Holy Mountain Zion map?
Okay, I want the Then it to come in to show the true people in America, which is the next one, where the people standing around the pond.
With the Indians, right?
And then it shows a picture of the European and the Indians that were already here. We want to talk about that. Then we're going to come to the map. Okay, the one with the pond, with the Indians standing around it when they first got here. They tell about that in that. And then there's a next one to it where it shows the European that came over here in 1492 and the Indian people, the lady. And then the map is next after that. We went of Africa, the original name, and the Ethiopian Ocean and all that, the original name of Africa before they changed it in 1492.
Okay, so the first you said you wanted a map. Is that the map that says Mount Zion? You have 3 maps.
Mount Zion is the last map.
Okay, so what's the first map?
The first map is the one where it talks about the baby Jesus and the mother, Mary and Jesus.
Okay, that's not
Then,
a map.
then the next one after that will be the ones around the pond with the map on it.
Okay, hold on a second. The first slide you told me to put on was a map.
Okay, the first one I want you to put on is the Indian and the map. Yeah, the Indians. And it shows the map of where Christianity, yeah, it shows the Christianity around the world. That's what we're going to start the topic off with, right? And then we're going to move on to show who we're speaking on when we talk about the original mother and the original child.
Is that the black and white and color one together?
That's the statue. Yeah, the one looks...
Half and half.
Yeah, half and half. The one is the statue in Egypt, and the other is the statue.
Yeah. I need a little explanation so we can get this done.
Yeah, and then the next one will be the Black Prince of Wales after that, because that's where they also worshiped Christianity before they killed them all and took their names and their land. And then plagiarized. Yeah. And then the one standing around the pond. We're going to move into those really quickly. I'm going to hit you as I want them slides to go on.
Okay, now you want the wait. So you told me the one with the pond was first.
No. The one, I'm going to bring it over there and show you. This is the best thing to do. That way, instead of me, that way I can show you. Okay. This is the first one here. Okay. And then this is the second one.
Okay. That's the third one.
That's the third one. Then this one. And then the Africa. And then the Mount Zion is what we'll finish out with. That's kind of his specialty. You seen the Mount Zion map?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to have a conversation on that? You know, you're a little familiar with that? Okay. Because we're going to let you, do your scholarly on that.
Okay, go sit down.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can't wait to get this show eventually. You know what I mean? On the, and get it up there to the people. Mm-hmm. I think that will really bring some credibility to the station, to Rob and them especially, and people wanting to really, because people are calling me requesting what time my show comes on. And I'm, I got like 5 calls yesterday.
Okay.
And, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. You know what I mean? Even my own brothers. And his wife wants to watch my shows. Oh, yeah. She's hearing about it from other people. So and they seen your show because this ain't started till recent. I mean, I did a couple powerful shows, but the last few we did, man, was so powerful. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, oh yeah. So we're gonna start with this one. 67,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, 130,000 years ago, 13,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago. You know what I mean? So we've been in America. This is a powerful document, bro. You hear me? We was living up in Russia, the Christians. The real Christians, the ones everybody talking about, the 12 tribes and the Hebrew Israelites. That's what all this is. That's what all this is, right? All these fairy tales, they done twisted up the truth. Man, have you seen this map, man? This map go all the way back.
Which one?
With the years. Check this out. Oh, look on here and see it close up on the computer. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back 130,000 years. 40, telling you where we was at. This is what we worship.
Right.
We ready to show the people.
Right.
See, these are the ones who worship Haru,
Right.
the Christ, right?
Right.
And then Mary, I said,
Right.
right? Same people there, same people here. Okay, that stuff they teaching them about nature and the Indians, they teaching lies.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all not the real Indians, because y'all not teaching the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right? Well, I ain't gonna attack that. That ain't what I'm here for. But I'll rip them. You know, Chairman got some agreements with them. You know, we can't change them. But these people ain't nothing but thieves and liars.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody believe. Look at this. This is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We worship Christ.
Mm-hmm.
The Christians. They stole the name of Christians.
Mm-hmm.
They stole our identity. Said they was us.
Mm-hmm.
After forced. Have you heard about the new thing on education?
No.
Oh, I'm ready to bust this show.
Mr. Brown, don't get too excited before the show starts.
All right, okay. All right. Save that energy. Because that excitement kind of, it really get people, I noticed that. You know, my sister was telling me, my sister-in-law, she said, boy, she said, when you put some passion in that show, she said, you got to hear about it. Okay.
Can you put some passion in the show? You got no passion for three people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I do too.
I agree.
Talk for me, guys.
1, 2, 3, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mr. Brown?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go, we're recording.
Hey, it's the Carlton Brown Foundation Show. Hey, I want to come to you today, and I want to bring you a powerful presentation from Martin Luther King, because it's going to be about educational neglect and about this young lady in New York named Cassie. You know, we're going to keep fighting for our sisters. We got her back because we got the light of truth, and we're going to prove she got a case beyond a reasonable doubt. Martin Luther King said that we don't need leaders in love with money. We need leaders in love with justice. We need leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity, so that they manifest into the community and it bears witness for everyone to see. So, you know, that's what we're going to be about today. That's what we're about today. We're about each one, teach one. We're going to be talking about educational neglect. We're going to be talking about the real story of slavery. See, the real story of slavery, you can go up on the African Culture page on Facebook. African Culture page. Culture. African Culture. You'll be able to see the truth about the educational system in America, which was fought from the beginning. It was forced education. Okay, the natives uproared and fought all across the country. When they came over here to institute, and they talk about the slave trade, what they don't tell you is when they got over here, the African people were already here. What they did, they shipped them out to Africa, right, for commodities and resources. And then they shipped them from Africa again into the Americas, Haiti, Brazil, and all them places, and back into America. And then they changed the story and said it was a slave trade. Okay? That's the truth of the slave trade, what they're not telling, right? Okay, now we're going to go on to the first slide, and we're going to talk about the original Christians. We're going to talk about not a fairy tale that was created in the Nicene Council in 325, and then listened to, and then went over and implemented from Emperor Constantine, and then they went out and burned all the books in the world to keep people from learning the truth. And they're still running around the country digging up people's artifacts and hiding lies and hiding pyramids all over America, technology, information, all over the world, right? You know, the light of truth is here. We got pyramids. They're not Indian mounds, right? The map shows right here. Not only did we worship Christ in Egypt, her name was Isis. And the baby's name is Haru, Christ. And the Arabs call her Mariam. And Mariam, or Mariamum, is the name of Serapis, which is the fake European Jesus that they created in the Nicene Council in 325. Go up to Negos, Google it, Nicene Council. This is the age of information. This is about the truth. We're not teaching these fairy tales and lies no more to our children, destroying them to have an opportunity for the future because of forced education. The American educational system was created by a bunch of insane people and then implemented across the country to where now some people even think this is the way it is. And it was never like this. In Africa, 130,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago, up in Russia, we was already there. It's showing the map of migration. In America, we was already here and we worship the Christ, right? You know, this is the map all over the world. We don't have no book with some people done wrote it, fairy tales, right? We got hieroglyphs. We got proofs, okay? Now, we're going to move on to the next document, which is the picture of the original Christ, the original Jesus, that has been worshipped for over 130,000 years. Okay? Now, when they went, like my brother said on our last show, when they went into Spain and killed the Moors on that April Fool's Day, which they celebrate as April Fools, they chopped all their heads off and put them on poles and burnt all the books and stole the maps and then run around teaching us a bunch of fairy tales. Okay? Yeah, they know us in the Arctic. Yeah, they know what was up under the ice because they stole the maps from us. Murdered and genocide. These are the good people who are teaching forced education, subjugating the people. Okay? Exile in our own land. Okay? This is our land. That's what they don't want you to know. The truth is out now. Okay? Now, we'd like you to talk about this. Mr. Ella Haru, Stanley X Ackles. You know, this is your field right here. You know, the Haru and Aset. And then the lady, the black lady is the one and where it shows the woman in the crown and all that, and the baby, you know, a little more modern. That's what they worship over in Wales, right? Before the Whales that they have now are the ones who went in and killed our people and then plagiarized their pictures and said they was them, just like they did our religion and said they was Christians when they ain't never been no Christian. That's why don't nothing Christian come out in their actions, and every community in the city is down and they killing African people all over the world. Because ain't nothing in them that got nothing to do with being no Christian. But I'm going to let you go ahead and expound on that.
Yes, Carlton, the worship of the mother goddess is ancient, like you said, and it goes back tens of thousands of years before the Bible was written, before the story of Adam and Eve was said to have taken place. This is the real culture of humanity. Of course, you know, like you said, the purpose of the history that we have been taught here in the United States is for the purpose of socially engineering people, black people and white people. White people engineered to believe that the world was flat until 1492 and nothing happened before then. And then after that, there was a manifest destiny that said that that white skin people with white skin were had the right to uh, run the world and frankly ruin the world at their own pleasure, whereas black people were taught, well, you didn't exist, you didn't have nothing, you didn't know anything, all you were was a spear chucker and a what do you call it, playing drums and chucking spears,
Yeah.
and there was nothing else that ever came that you ever did. When we know all these things are a lie, they're a lie about the past and they're a lie about our past, even here in the United States. So the ancient uh, worship of the ancient mother is older than what we know. Uh, as time goes in each generation, just like in each culture, there are like mutations of the same ideal. So we had I said or knew it in the beginning. Now we have Mother Mary and Jesus.
Yeah, and you know, you know I'm telling you the truth.
Yes.
Because you'll see the Pope up there, right?
Right.
The European Pope, the liar and the murderer and genocide committer, running around still poisoning and killing all of humanity under a false god that was created in the Nicene Chapel Council, which was Serapis, the emperor of Egypt, appointed by Alexander the Great, a genocide committer, both of them, and they still genocide committers. Run around acting like they're not killing humanity and poisoning all of humanity when it's the European Catholic Church that started all this, and they are still implementing it around the world. We're going to move on to the next slide, and we're going to talk about the Black Prince Edward and Prince of Wales. Okay? Since people think that I'm saying something about the Prince of Wales because they done stole our people's identity. They even plagiarized their photos and whitened them up to play like they was them. Switch their heads and put a white person face on it. Just to say that they was the Prince of Wales. Well, you bear witness to a lie, right? Jesus had a son. Credu Mutwa said so. Guess where they worshiping? They went at? The Wales. Okay? You know, the truth is the life and the way. You know, so we're going to move on to the next slide because we're going to move on through this show because we got some good stuff for y'all. We want to make sure we get through this today. We're going to move on to show you the original people and the map when they came over here, who was already here. The slave trade they teaching in the movies and they got in the books is a lie. Y'all shipped the original African people that was out to Africa for commodities and resources and labor because y'all had too many of them over here to control, right? Then you shipped them back and then shipped them through the Americas and back into America, and then you forgot to tell the part about they was already here, right? Because you want to steal our land. You don't want the people to know that they are aboriginal, original native people all over the planet.
That's right.
This is our land. No wonder you run around consistently trying to subjugate the people talking about you don't know what we're talking about. Well, I want you to look at this, and then you can expand on that a little bit, because this is the map. It's talking about the people with visual proof who was already here.
The map doesn't lie because it was the Europeans who made this map at the time that this was actual real, and map was done in the 18th the late 18th century, and so on the map, as you can see, those people didn't look like the ones that we see now. Just the same way for example, if you look at Hawaii, now we know that, you know, just like in Tasmania and Australia and Hawaii, all the people were black. But now when you see Hawaiians and Tasmanians they look different.
They light-skinned up.
They look different.
Yeah, they different.
So
and
the way the education system has created in our minds, when I'm talking about the public education,
they created it.
They teach
just like they created the Bible.
They teach you, and they displace these people,
Lies.
kill the people, genocide, or the ones who were left, kind of like what do you call them, screen them out or
Yeah.
wash them,
Yeah.
wash them
Rape
out.
their women and wash them out.
Right. So
Same thing they do today.
then
Yeah.
then they teach the people here, well, that doesn't belong to you. Those people have nothing to do with you. You're all alone.
Yeah, they're
You know?
liars.
Well,
Yeah.
it's part of the minds creating a mindset where you can then accept whatever somebody tells you.
Yes.
Because you feel powerless.
You feel
Or you
powerless.
feel like
Yes.
you don't belong, not only here, but you don't
anywhere.
belong anywhere.
Yeah, you don't even belong to Africa.
That's right.
You ain't got nowhere, and they done stole your land. They don't belong here, right? But we not into trying to kick you off,
Right.
right? But we're not going to allow you to continue to kill our people.
No.
We get these resources, either we'll separate. We don't care what you do. We will exist with or without you. You the one can't exist without us. You the one that can't even come out in the sun. You the one that your organs don't work. You the one that are, what do you call it? A mutation. Not us, right? You need our organs. You need our blood to survive. We don't need nothing from you, right? And if you didn't try to take it, maybe it wouldn't end like this.
And this is what social engineering does. When you try to create a false world that basically divides humanity into two sides, what do you create? You create conflict and war because it's not founded on the truth.
It's not founded on truth. It's founded on lies. You got people using the truth, and you got people believing in fairy tales and lies that these evil people, and then their children are running around teaching this stuff and carrying it on, trying to say they ain't got nothing to do with it. And you have food deserts all across the city, poisoning every community across the country. And then y'all walk around smiling in people's face, marching in the street like y'all helping. Now, it ain't going to work no more. You don't change your actions. Ain't nothing. Now, we're going to move on to the next side. We're going to show you the America when they got here, when they start changing the name, right? Because first they tried this name. Check this out. I'm going to help my brother. It said, well said all American Indians were pale and red skin with straight hair, but you found dark skinned ones with afros. Check this out, Brother Ella, right here.
Yes.
I got you right here.
Yes.
You want to go on there and expound and let us know what you see. And, because we need to, one moment of truth can put out hundreds of years of lies. So that's what we're about today. We're about the truth and putting out those lies.
Well, the truth is right there in front of us. I mean, we can see that all Indians did not have straight hair. Just like all black people do not have woolly hair. We have both. And so, but this is a actual document from that time showing representative of what the American Indians look like. And you see a black woman with an afro. Now that's not
and a Christian is what she was. Because see, they worship the original Christ.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They stole our identity. They say we the Christians. No, you're not. These are the Christians. Manifest. Been worshiping it for over 130,000 years. Okay?
Yeah. And that's the biggest crime to humanity, is that we are not giving our people, that means all of our people, all human beings, the information that they need about human civilization, human technology that is older than what we've been presently using, and it was better. You see, because the technology that those ancient people used obviously was far superior to have it survived 10,000 years in some cases. And we can also say, what we can also say about it is that it didn't pollute the water. It didn't cause animals to go extinct.
Right.
It didn't cause the land
To die.
to die and be in turmoil.
Or
the ocean.
Or the ocean. Or the poisoning of all foods that we buy at our stores.
So this whole idea of, this needed to be done because we have superior minds, we have superior technology, is a lie.
Yeah, they ain't nothing superior.
As you always say, is manifested.
Yeah.
And we all, not just people of color, Everybody suffers from it.
That's right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna move on to Africa was called Ethiopia, and the Atlantic Ocean was called the Ethiopian Ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia, Africa Occipitanus is a European, right? When 8 European countries sat down in 1885 at uh, 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 the Berlin Treaty of 1885, when they divided up the resources of Africa, the only country was at the table was Haile Selassie, only African organization, and he told them, it may be us today, but it will be y'all tomorrow.
That's right.
And now y'all have lost control of Africa. The 54 countries of the African Union got control of it. So I want to let you go on here and spend, because this is your field right here. This is the original map of Africa. And what needs to be taught truth in the schools instead of these fairy tales and lies from these evil people trying to run around and say that we are practicing educational neglect because they have committed crimes against humanity, ruled by 118 countries in the United Nations just last year. That's war crimes, their educational system.
Yeah, Carlton, there's no dispute or no doubt that Africans had boats. And they used those boats to go to places like Easter Island, Hawaii, Pacific, Vietnam, America, all over. I mean, this is, they have artifacts and bones that go back 10,000 years in South America, for example. So there's no question about it.
I mean, it's, and the ones who know this history are our African royalty, our African kings and chiefs and princes, right? And I've been working with them.
Yes.
And they about that change that is required today.
Yes.
Because the light of truth has did its work.
Yes.
Turn on CNN.
Yes.
We're going to start teaching our own people. Right?
Yes.
People say, well, he just talking. He don't know nothing here. Well, him who is in me is greater than who is in the world. And he's also in you.
That's right.
Right? And then when unity comes about in his name, right? All things are possible.
Yes.
And they will manifest into our communities for the world to see. All you got to do is turn on TV. Right?
Right.
We got kings. We will teach our own people from this point forward. We don't need you to tell our history no more. And he went around to all the royalty throughout Britain and asked them to return what they have stolen. Because it's grave robbery, they have committed genocide and crimes against humanity and stolen our artifacts, run around hollering about as artifacts in order to grave rob, stealing our artifacts and technology. Enough is enough.
Yes, I'm reminded of that song, a line from the song that Bob Marley sang. He says, "What can you say about a hopeless sinner who will destroy the whole world just to save his own beliefs?" The world is more important than anyone's belief, the pride that they have behind what they believe, especially when the belief is not founded on the truth.
Yeah, because it brings death into the world of the living.
That's right.
So if it was true, turn on your TV. And anything it got to do with brings death into the community, poisoning the whole communities. Genocide, people starving to death all over the world. And it's enough resources, and always has been, and enough room on the planet to grow enough food for everybody. And these people have did it on purpose. Period. And it's insane, right? And we will remember the silence of we will not remember our enemies, but we will remember the silence of our friends when we look at them. Right? Because when this money flow in, when you think that you're not going to be held accountable for not caring, your same friend going to look at you and see you for the creature that you are. So it's time to get up and be a doer about solutions instead of an actor. Well, we're going to move on to the last slide of this, and this is the Holy Mount Zion. Right? This is the Ham, Africa, Eden. This is the real Christians. This is who we are. Before these people stole our identity, right? And plagiarized everything that we got. Even took the cross and corrupted it and changed it. Right? We don't worship spirits. We don't worship ghosts. You know, we worship people from the stars. We worship reality,
Yeah.
right? And then all of our principles are not the worship of them people. They are spiritual principles and guides and the way that the body functions in order for us to live in righteousness. Y'all are the liars, the murderers, and the thieves, not us.
Yeah.
So you know, let you go on to that when you get time. Go ahead and expand.
All scientists agree, Carlton, that you know, the human race came out of Africa. You know,
Yeah, they knew
and
that. Yeah.
so this is not for us who live in this age, this time, the information age. This shouldn't be new news to us, and it shouldn't be something that we have to adjust to. You know, I mean, you know, facts are what they are, and so we just need to appreciate that. Now, part of it is also talking about, if you say that, then you need to listen to the ancestors and what they taught us about the beginning.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
before the
yeah,
ancestors were
Africa
the
is
angels
Eden.
until the Europeans came in and
Yes,
said, oh, it's no longer
yes.
ancestors, we're going to change it to angels. You know,
Eden,
they twisted everything.
yeah, Eden
Yeah.
represents the beginning of humanity. Africa is Eden. The African people, the griots,
Mhm.
what did they teach us about?
Mhm.
They taught us that we came from the stars. So all this other stuff, you know,
The stuff they did.
all this other stuff that you making up, you know, you have to weigh that against the people. Now, when I was growing up, my great grandmother, she was you know, part of the Sioux Nation, and she when I was 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old, she would get me and look me straight in the eye and tell me, you know, who I was, and say, you know, you were as good as anybody else. Of course, this was and during the time when you know, segregation was still uh,
No, they
present.
they were still trying to wipe out the
Yeah,
identity that this was all our land,
right.
trying to make sure we
And
forgot.
said you were as
Yeah.
good as anybody else.
Mhm.
But you don't disrespect people. You know, you don't look up at anybody, don't look down at anybody, but look them straight in the eye. But the whole point of what I learned from that, you know, is about equality. You know, we need to understand that this is not about one versus the other, the rich versus the poor, the high versus the low, the light versus the dark. It's about equality and understanding that the only way we can move forward is that we respect everybody.
Yes. And the truth is the only way that we can get to that.
That's right.
You know, when they want to know about Ham, when you want to know about the real Christian, when you want to know the real story about the slave trade, instead of these fairy tales and lies, like when they created that book and put them in there.
Yeah.
And then they took
Social
certain stuff out,
engineering.
certain stuff off the hieroglyphs. And then you got the Arabs. I having a conversation with an Arab. You know, tell me, my book's real. I said, okay, well, you agree that the European book is a fabrication created in the Nicene Council in 325 and he never existed. But in your book, it says that he is real. Both of y'all lying. Both of y'all, in Arab countries, they castrate a black child and give them to an Arab child as a slave. Ain't no God condoned that. That's man stuff.
That's right.
They took all the stuff from the hieroglyphs, instituted it. Even Abraham is not his original name. Yusef is Inhotep's name. Joseph is Inhotep's name in both of them's book. Didn't even exist. Nowhere on the planet. None of these people named in the book. There ain't no picture because he don't exist. Okay? You know, this is the age of information, right?
Yeah.
We as African people have our own. We don't care nothing about your fairy tales, and you ain't gonna make us worship it. We had enough of your stuff. We got 5 aircraft carriers. You want some trouble? Take y'all way back in the Stone Ages. Your whole city. You need to back off. You need to go and enslave your own people. And quit trying to steal our resources along with these Europeans serving chemicals and poisoning our people all throughout every community in America. Y'all in it together. Okay? You know, I'm not gonna let y'all slide up under the radar. Running around acting like y'all trying to kill each other. You a liar and a murderer. Is y'all doing it to yourself? We don't have no pity for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no respect for you until you get on the light of truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm so passionate about that.
Yes.
You know, I have been taught all these lies. Y'all right now in school teaching our children these lies. Telling them they slaves. Not telling them that y'all took them from their own land and shipped them to Africa and shipped them back and told them they slaves and they don't own nothing. You a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And the proof is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. You are the one responsible for educational neglect. America. Educational genocide and crimes against humanity across every spectrum in every area of life in America for African people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our own resources, and it's about change. We're not upset today because, see, you might not be able to change the past, but what we can do together, we can change the present and the future. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave you with a quote from a wise man who once told me that love for others were the keys to the kingdom of heaven within myself. And if I get lost or forget or fall down, all I have to do is ask an angel, and I'll know him or her when they speak, because it is an action word and something that you do. Look for that action. Don't mess with actors and liars with their own actions. And remember, one moment of truth can put out hundreds of years of lies. I am you and you are me. Each one teach one. I love you. Pound for show, brother. Pound for show, man. We busted it. We got the evidence up there with it. You hear me?
Yes,
Oh, man. Ain't nobody seen nothing like this one. You hear me?
Okay.
They'll be sick for head. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We need that light of truth out there for our children. You know, we need that light of truth out there for the children, man. You know what I mean? Because, see, they in school right now being taught these lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they being taught they slaves,
Mm-hmm.
and they not being taught the true story of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got over here. The Africans was already here. They shipped them to Africa and then shipped them back. They shipped them for resources and commodities and stuff like that for labor. Mm-hmm. And then they shipped them back to America and to the Americas. And they said it was a slave trade and we don't own nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then next week I'm going to have the picture up here of the two gentlemen and also the Carnegie, the Rockefellers, and all these people in the educational department. All these people got something to do with forced education, because that's what this is. Native American people all over America, they was at war with these people about trying to take our children and teach them a whole bunch of stuff that ain't true. Insane. I'm gonna let Brother Ellie Rue. I'm just so upset because, you know, I got great nieces and nephews, man, that don't even know what time of day it is after going to these people's school, learning all these lies.
Gentlemen, I need you guys to tie it up, okay?
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, my brother.
Well, I'm just here with Carlton. You heard him, and he said it all. You know, Ashe.
Ashe, man. Ashe. I mean.
Peace, family.
Pula. Hey, I love y'all. You know what I mean? To all my African beloved human family, I am you and you are me. And guess what? We love you.